If there's one thing I love, it's when games make you think, and there's tons of events in the Final Fantasy series that really gets the theory machine moving. From schoolyard theories to seriously interesting stuff, over the years fans have really put together some compelling cases for some of the most unsolved mysteries in the Final Fantasy series. So in today's video, we're going to be covering some Final Fantasy fan theories that I almost kind of believe or have believed over the years just because they're almost so believable. Before we get to that, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe because 86% of the people that watch my channel on a regular basis are not subscribed. And comment down below, let me know if you agree with any of these fan theories or if you have your own to add as well. I'd love to entertain the idea of pretty much anything because I like this kind of stuff. Anyway, let's get on to the first one. The theory regarding Gogo's true identity in Final Fantasy VI is one of the most intriguing mysteries in Final Fantasy. Gogo is an optional character who can be recruited in the World of Ruin portion of the game and found inside Zone Eater's belly. Gogo is one of my favorite characters because, well, as a mimic does, any action can be replicated. Now, obviously nobody knows who Gogo is, but there's been a few theories floating around the internet for some time, and I'm kind of happy to entertain them. So let's start with the most interesting one. One theory suggests that Gogo is actually Daryl, the pilot of the crashed airship, allegedly perished in the collision. Daryl supposedly crashed into a distant land during her airship race with Setzer. This could have been Triangle Island. I mean, Setzer finds Daryl's airship, but no Daryl, and a body was never found, and nor was death ever confirmed really. Daryl could have easily been swallowed by the Zone Eater, which is where you find Gogo. It's possible after the crash Daryl lost her memory and just followed the Mimic clan. Why didn't Daryl escape the Zone Eater as easily as the party can? Well, until Kefka destroyed the world, the Zone Eater hadn't surfaced. Gogo can also equip female-only equipment like the Minerva Vest and the Gambler-exclusive weapons like Doom Darts. I like the idea of this. Obviously, nothing has ever been confirmed, but hey, it almost kind of works. Another theory poses the idea that Gogo is simply just a mysterious mime with no specific identity or backstory. Mimes in Final Fantasy are often portrayed as elusive and enigmatic characters, so it's possible that Gogo is just meant to embody this archetype as one of the hidden characters in Final Fantasy VI. Yes, this is probably the most likely one out of all the Gogo theories, and yeah, it's probably just a throwback to Final Fantasy V. Other fans suggest that Gogo might be a traveler from another dimension or another world, explaining the mysterious appearance and abilities. So if this theory draws on the idea of multiverse or interdimensional travel, shouldn't Gogo actually be Gilgamesh? Now, of course, nothing has ever truly been confirmed here with Gogo's identity, but I think some of those theories are actually pretty interesting. Here's a theory that I talked about not too long ago, and it's the Squall is dead theory. The theory suggests that Squall actually dies during the attempted assassination on Adea. Here he's impaled by a massive shard of ice during the battle, and after the event the game takes a dramatic turn, and some fans interpret subsequent events as being too surreal or inconsistent with reality, leading them to speculate that Squall actually died at that moment. Supporters of the theory point to various elements within the game like inconsistencies in the storyline, surreal sequences, and ambiguous dialogue as evidence of Squall's death. They also interpret certain scenes such as the ending as like a symbolic representation of Squall coming to terms with his death or moving on to the afterlife. However, this theory was debunked a few years ago. I mean, the story is more or less told to us. It's always fun to interpret the what-if scenario. And yeah, I think there are some inconsistencies in the storyline of Final Fantasy VIII, but does that necessarily point to the fact that Squall is dead? I don't know. It's interesting to think about regardless. Here's a fun and interesting theory that I've enjoyed thinking about over the years, and it's the connection from Final Fantasy X to Final Fantasy VII. One of the most prominent connections is the presence of Shinra in both games. Of course, in Final Fantasy VII, Shinra is the company that's sucking the planet dry. But in Final Fantasy X, the character Shinra develops technology to harvest energy from the planet. Both games feature similar technology and cultural elements, such as advanced machinery, airships, and certain thematic motifs. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are groundbreaking, smoking gun kind of evidence for this theory, but there are some similarities. And some people view that as evidence of a shared timeline. Both games explore themes of spirituality, the afterlife, and the existence of higher beings to a point. Final Fantasy X revolves around the summoner's pilgrimage to defeat sin, while Final Fantasy VII delves into the lifestream and the role of the planet's spiritual energy. Some fans speculate that these shared themes could indicate a deeper connection between the two worlds, maybe. There's a subtle reference in Final Fantasy X-2 where Shinra talking about extracting energy from the planet. Of course, this could be interpreted as a reference to the Shinra Corporation from Final Fantasy VII. And yeah, I know it's kind of a loose fan theory, but it's interesting to think about. What do you think? So I've got an interesting theory for you here. Chances are, if you clicked on this video, you like Final Fantasy or JRPG content. Well, guess what? I actually put out a video each week covering those two things. So hey, don't forget to hit subscribe. I would love to have you along for the ride. Let's get to the next theory. It's a good one. The Aerith lives story is one of the most enduring and popular fan theories surrounding Final Fantasy VII. Of course, she dies in the original game, but over the years, some fans have proposed the idea that it's possible to prevent her death or even revive her, despite it being a pivotal and emotional moment in the game's narrative. This theory was fueled by rumors and alleged methods circulating among players claiming to have found ways to prevent Aerith's death or bring her back to life. Some of these methods include doing some wild actions or using certain items or exploiting glitches in the game. Of course, none of these ever worked, but there was a video that showed up a few years ago that Cloud walks into the Sector 5 Slums church. Of course, it's a dead giveaway that it's a fake video. I mean, look at the dialogue. Imagine after seeing someone die by the hands of Sephiroth and then walk into a church later on and the first thing they say is, yo. And then moments later they say, let's roll, homie. It's so funny. It just goes to show that it's the most iconic death scene in video game history, and the impact it had on gamers then, and still now arguably, caused these rumors to spread like wildfire. Who knows, maybe it'll come to fruition in the third act of Final Fantasy VII Remake. One of the more interesting theories, aside from reviving Aerith in Final Fantasy VII, is that the Knights of the Round had more of a bearing on the story than just being a really cool optional summon. It's rumored that the Knights of the Round are actually Cetra, or Ancients, and were the warriors that actually managed to defeat Jenova originally. Obviously, the Cetra would have defeated Jenova before the main party, so no better group than the Knights of the Round, really. And from there, they somehow got turned into materia by entering the life stream to help prevent anything else further down the road. From a storytelling perspective, the idea of Knights of the Round representing the forces of good or defenders of the planet aligns thematically with the struggle against Jenova's malevolence. Obviously, nothing has ever been confirmed, but fingers crossed here for part 3 of the remake. I really want to see the entire Knights of the Round cutscene in 8K, HD, Blu-ray, upscale, whatever the clearest quality possible is, because this has easily been one of my most hyped up summons for the remakes. So let's hope they actually have some bearing on the story instead of just being something cool. One theory from Final Fantasy IX to think about is how Vivi's clones exist at the end of the game. I talked about this in my Who is Vivi video a few weeks back, almost kind of doing a character study more or less. And one question a lot of players have is, how did those Vivi clones get there at the end of the game? As we know, the black mages are made from mist, and after the Aoife tree is destroyed, I mean, is it really though? You'd think that mist would no longer be able to be used. One theory is that given the time left to live, Vivi traveled to the village of Dali and used the machines there to clone himself or create black mages in his image to carry on his legacy. Surely there would have been some crossover where Vivi had the time to tell the little mages of his adventures and his friends. It's just a nice and wholesome theory to think about, even if the Vivi clones are just a plot device to show that, yeah, the original Vivi is gone. So whether they're real or not doesn't matter. I just love to think about fan theories because there's always some really great food for thought out there somewhere on the internet about one of your favorite games. So anyway, thanks so much for watching today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the video here for more content, and we'll see you again on the next video. Thanks for watching.